Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. It is Junk Journal Wednesday. This is page 7 and page 8 of my junk journal journey. We are using the Gallery Blooms stamps and dies for this one. I've got some retired Stampin' Up! Ribbon that I'm going to use. This is the basic beige cardstock, and I have cut out and prepped some tags and some pockets. So we'll be stamping everything, blending it all up. And I've already made 4 of these. These are the flowers from the kit or from the bundle, and I colored them with dark and light flirty flamingo and then dark petal pink just around the outside. The middle is daffodil delight, and the leaves are soft sea foam. So I've already done those. What we've got here is let your heart make wishes to bring your dreams to life. And then this lovely picture of these 2 girls standing on the swings, just enjoying life. And I think the caption for this one was, remember when you were brave enough to do this. So trying to get back to what it is I want to do and not being afraid to do it. This one really spoke to me. Sometimes you have to let go of the picture of what you thought life would be like and learn to find joy in the story you are actually living. And I think that's really important because we all have expectations. We all think we know where we were going to be, and we end up in a different place, and we need to change our mindset so that we can enjoy that place. And then this one I just love. She meant to behave, but there were so many other options. And once upon a time, there were other options. And I will admit, didn't always behave myself. But don't necessarily want to go back to those days, but that feeling and that energy. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take some basic beige. And we are going to basic beige and crumb cake. And we are going to add ink to all of our elements here. So I'm just coming in, and this won't show a lot because it's basic beige on basic beige, but what we're doing is we're adding depth, and we're just going to keep coming around, keep adding that color in, and it's okay if there's splotches. Now, one of these pages is going to be attached to the back of one of the other pages, but I wanted to be able to stamp on this, and I've already blinged up the other page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a pocket. So I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that yet, but what I am going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of a dot right here to remind myself that I need to cut out a groove there so that I can make the pocket. So instead of just gluing the 2 pages together, I'm going to glue around the edge and then have that little opening so that you can slide things in and out, almost like a secret hidden pocket. I was thinking, how do I do this? I don't want to kind of waste the page or the space. So I'm not going to. I'm going to actually use that. So we're going to come around and do this like this. And all I'm doing right now is I'm just adding that depth and color. We're going to do this, and then we're going to come back in with the crumb cake. And now for these pockets, I cut 3.5 by about 4. And then I did a 1/4 inch score and cut the corners and notched the edge so that I can make the pocket. So that's how I did that. And we're just going to come around again. We're just going to keep adding that color in. And then we'll do it all again with the basic beige, or with the crumb cake, sorry. We're using basic beige right now. Okay. And I'll decide when we get there what I'm going to do about blending color onto the images and things like that. So these junk journal pages are very much kind of create on the fly because I only need 1 book, so I don't need to make double the pages. So I'm kind of, as I say, creating on the fly. Most videos, when I'm making cards, I have a sample in mind. I might change the colors up. It's only Paper Pumpkin Week that I don't, because I only order 1 kit. Okay, so we're just going to, like I say, just keep adding that color in. And look how it's already changing the paper to have more depth. If you look at the difference, it really is quite remarkable how just adding some color to your page changes it. Okay, and we're almost done with this, and then we can start stamping and start building our page. Everything is going to get stamped. All of the cardstock is going to get stamped. And then we'll go from there and see what it all looks like. And we're using the stamps from the Gallery Blooms set. And I've got some tissue packing paper that I got a parcel this week, and so I saved the paper out of it, and it was relatively flat, so I've just torn it up to use today. Okay, we're going to leave the crumb cake out because we are going to start stamping. And we're just going to be adding images all over. They can be random. I am going to be adding more images in, so I don't need to fully cover everything. But we are just going to ink this up. Keeping in mind I'm putting pockets in the middle, so I don't need a lot of coverage in the middle. Okay, let's pull in this big peony here, and we're just going to stamp that down. And again, I'm going to be covering most of this up with a pocket, but I don't want there to be kind of any empty spaces. So I'm going to come in like that, and then across the top, kind of like this. There we go. Same thing here. Oh, I've got a spot that I missed at the bottom on that page and in the corner here. So we're just going to fill that in. Okay. So we're going to come back in here. Same idea. We're going to come all the way around. Still want some coverage at the bottom here because there will be some space at the bottom. Just a little bit there. And we're going to stamp that like that. And then come in like this. And then we're just going to add into the corners like that. Okay, so that's the pages done. So let's go ahead and do some background on the tags. We'll just keep bringing that in. That. Keep in mind I can do some other stamping as well, and we're going to pop this in like this, and maybe a little bit over here, and the same with this one. We'll pop some up like that. Oops, keeping in mind that I am actually going to be covering up some of this. So there we go. Now, the joy of a photopolymer stamp is that if you miss, you can go back over it again. And for the most part, it looks okay. All right, I'm going to come back in with this Queen Anne's lace, or whatever you would like to call it. That's all I can think of that it is Queen Anne's lace, or cow parsley, I think it's called. But we're just going to come in like that, add that little bit. Again, keeping in mind that we are going to be adding things to these. So it's more about just filling in some empty space than anything else. And I'm going to put some at the top. Okay. I'm gonna add that there and that there like that. And then we're going to come in up here like this. Now, you can always add a little bit later if you need to. It's not a big deal. You just do what you need to do. Okay, so we've got our backgrounds, and this is my left-hand side, and this is my right-hand side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some tear and tape, and I'm going to add my pockets. You can glue, but keep in mind with the glue, depending on which glue you use, it could stay tacky. And you don't necessarily want that. I'm lining this up right along that score line. That's why I went 1/4 inch, is because my tear and tape's 1/4 inch. I've run out of the really thin like the 1/8 inch stuff. So sometimes your supplies determine your size. So oh, that one's too long, so let's put it on the other one. And we're just going to come in like this, put that tear and tape down, and we'll keep building. And this tear and tape, you can order it in the catalog or on, like if it's not in the catalog under adhesives, it will be online. I have it left over from my paper pumpkin kits. So this is how I use it up. Okay, let's do that and one more, and then we can start putting these down. I need to, again, remember that I need to cut that notch, and I need to do that relatively soon. I can't do it in the facing page because I've already blinged it up. But what I am going to do, I'm just going to choose a die to use for that. Or maybe I can use a punch. Maybe I'll use the punch. Can I use this one? If I do this, oh, this might work really well, actually. I've got the modern oval punch, and I'm just going to come in along this edge like this, making sure I'm straight to the paper, and punch. So that's given me a notch on that side now. Okay, that was way easier than using a die. Okay. All right, now, so what that's done for me is it's given me kind of a registration point. I know that I need to be on this side here, and I also need to leave enough room to put my hole punch down the side. And I might end up coming over just a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm just going to peel the backing off of the tear and tape. And if one end won't work, come back in with your piercing tool. There we go. Sometimes you just need the tools. Okay, we're just going to peel these all off. I've said it before, but a lot of my video is me talking about taking the backing off things. Dimensionals, whatever. Okay, there we go. So we've got that. And this one here, when I fold it over, it's actually going to overlap a little bit. So I'm just going to roll that edge in. That's the other nice thing about the tear and tape, is you can roll it in. Now, I want to tuck this in. Oops. Here we go. I want to tuck that in like that. So we're going to put this whole thing down like this, and I want it to go about here like this. I'm going to move it over just a tad. So we're going to tuck that edge in like that. We're going to tuck this edge in like this, and we're just going to put that down. There we go. So that's our pocket. And for some reason, the tear and tape isn't holding. That's better. Okay. Just needed to squash down. Okay. I'm actually, for this one, I'm going to add some of the Super, this Seal Plus, because I don't know if maybe the paper is too wet from using it for doing the blending brush. So maybe we'll just add some of this, the super strong adhesive to this, because this is just not playing the game. Okay, help me out in the comments. Tell me what I need to do differently, because usually tear and tape holds and there's not a problem. The only thing I can think of is that the paper's a little wet from all of the ink that I've put on it. So we're going to try again with the tear and tape on this one. Actually, the tear and tape is, yep, the tear and tape's just pulling right off. So let's see if we can just peel all the tear and tape off. See, it's dry there, so it's sticking. But I think that's what it is the paper is too wet from the ink. So if you want to use tear and tape, you need to give your paper time to dry. See, this one is pretty much just peeling off. Okay, so we're going to do this a little bit differently. Let's get out our glue, and I'm using the clear mono glue, and we're just going to put just a little bit of glue. I don't want it to kind of spill out. So I've got the tear and tape on the bottom yet, but we're going to do this like this. We're just going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to use the large end. The large end's got a little bit of a brush on it, and I'm just going to use that to smear the glue. Okay, let's see if this works. So this is absolutely a learning curve for me on how all of this works. So, but note to self, if the paper's really wet with ink, your adhesives, you either need to let your paper dry or change your adhesive. Okay, so I've got that down like that. I'm going to tuck this piece in and stick it down like that. And then I need to just come in and fold this piece under, all the way under. Come on, you can do it. Oh, okay, you know what? At this point, some people would just stop the video, start it again, and figure it all out. But I'm going to keep going because we need to figure out sometimes how to fix oopses and get by them. So that's what we're doing. And I need to come over because I've got holes to punch. Okay, so this is with the glue. So we're just going to give that a minute to hold. And if worst comes to worst, we get out our stapler and we staple it down. But I think that should probably work. Okay, I'm going to put an ink pad on top of that one and an ink pad on top of that one just to hold everything down. I'm going to move them off to the side. Okay, so let's see if that works. Now we can build our tags while we're waiting for that. Okay, so some of these greetings are going to go on the outside and some are going to go on the inside. And these tags are, one is, oh no, they're both the same size. Perfect, both the same size. Life is good. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the tag. This is going to go on the outside. And this is going to go on the inside. These are going to go like this. So what I need to do now is I need to, if I'm going to do any blending, I need to do it kind of now. And I don't think I am. I think I'm going to leave these as they are. But what I am going to do is I'm going to adhere them to some of this brown paper. And I'm just going to tear it to fit. And if some edges are straight, that's fine. So that's going to go on there like that. So I'm just going to add another bit of that to that. So that's the actual tag itself, like that. Okay, and let's do the same with this one. And the reason I only put adhesive kind of in one spot is so that I can layer things in afterwards if I want to. Okay, and we're just going to shimmy this down just a little bit. And we're just going to take that top corner off. Okay, and that's going to go on. It's going to cover up most of the tag. So I am going to just take some of this off. It'll look a bit more ragged. As I say, I build as I go. And there really, with junk journaling, there really is kind of no right and no wrong. It's whatever you would like to do in the minute that you're doing it. So we're going to put that one on like that. So that's our two cover ones, or those are our two tags. So they're kind of similar on the inside. And this one, I think, you know, standing up on a swing is definitely not behaving. And then this has the circle in it and this has the circle in it. So that's why I'm putting those together. But I am going to take my crumb cake and I'm going to do just a little bit of blending on this one here. Just coming around the edge adding that little bit of color in, just softening everything up a little bit. Just like that. Okay. I'm not going to do anything with the other one, but I am going to put my ribbon through. And like I say, I've got this different ribbon. It's all discontinued. This is like an open weave ribbon. This is a polka dot ribbon. And I'm going to put this through and tie it with this kind of, it's almost like a, it's not jute, but it almost feels like jute. So, and I want this to come round this way because I want that to show. And I'm just going to shimmy it down a little bit. And I'm going to cut the extra ends off when I'm done because I'm going to use them on the front of the pocket. So I'm going to take one of these pieces. Again, this is all Stampin' Up! Product, whether it's current or retired, because kind of the point of this is to show you that you can go into kind of a new medium, new idea, using the inks and that you have. There are definitely the distress inks that you can use and things like that. But if you've already invested in all of your Stampin' Up! Supplies, why not kind of repurpose them rather than reinvesting in something else again? So we're just going to trim that end there and that end there like that. And then we're going to trim off this long tail here, and we'll be using those. So that's our tag that's going inside. You can round the corners if you want or not. That's entirely up to you. So that's one tag done. And then we need to do the ribbon on this tag. So we're going to do exactly the same thing again. And put our ribbon through and give it a good pull. And this, the punch that I used to do this is a Stampin' Up! One. It's from several years ago, but it, I've kept it because it is so useful. Okay, and again, we're just going to tie this off. You can use a stapler if you want to staple. You can always staple your ribbons. I'm just doing the good old Girl Guide knot, over, under, over. Tying it off. Okay, let's trim our ends here. And we're going to keep trimming our ends. And then we're going to trim this end here too. Okay. Okay, so that's got our tags done, but they are a little bare at the top. So I am going to come in with my crumb cake and my stamp, and I'm going to just add a little bit at the top like that, and then around on this one, I'm just going to come in and add a little bit more here, just like that. Okay, and I'm going to do the same on this one because I really didn't stamp the tops very much on the tags. So yeah, we've got that one, and then I'm just going to come in over on this side as well and just add that in like that. And it's, I've stamped over the image, and that's fine. It's absolutely fine. Okay, so let's see how our pockets are doing. Okay, they seem a bit better now. That one's still not stuck down very well, but okay, so I had said that this one's going in here, this one's going in here. So then our tag goes all the way down like that. And I apologize, I will fix these down later. I'll let the paper dry and then I'll fix it all down. So this is going to go on here. This is the little girls on the swing, and it's taller than this. Like it's and that's okay too. So I've got these pieces that I have already made, and I'm going to use that. This is not like, I can leave this free if I want, but maybe what I'll do is I'm going to put some dimensionals on this here, just some little ones, just to get it over the edge. So I'm going to do that, and then like this, and like this, and then I'm going to put some adhesive on here like this, so that Actually, I don't want adhesive there. Okay. Rethinking as we go. It's like the GPS, recalculating. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think, is I am going to take some of that ribbon that I cut from the last one, and I'm going to use this piece here, and I'm going to put it like that. So what we end up with is that little bit of ribbon on the edge, and then I'm going to adhere this down. I'm not putting tape all the way to the top because this is going to overlap. So it's going to come like this here, and then we've got our tag in behind. It's almost kind of camouflaged in there, but you've got the pull tab there. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop it over the edge like that. So I put the dimensionals outside so that it would just adhere here. So, okay, not 100% sure about this. Maybe what I'll do with this, sorry, I know I'm thinking as I go, and I apologize, but it does help sometimes to see the thought processes. If I do this and I attach this to the paper like this, and then I just tear down the sides like this. There we go. When I put this back in the pocket, I'll need to just nudge these sides back a little bit. But when I put this in the pocket now, it will differentiate it here. So ignore the fact that this side has come up. Again, I need to sort that out. I think best bet is let your glue dry before you, or let your paper dry before you add your adhesives. So look at me learning as I go. Okay, so we're going to do something really similar with this, except this one is will fill the front here. And I'm going to put one of these along the top, I think like this. And then this will go over top of it. Or do I tuck it underneath? No, maybe I can tuck it underneath like that. Okay, but we are going to again use that paper, this paper here. Let's do it over here like this. Okay. And I just print these out on cardstock. I see ideas on Pinterest or Instagram, little inspirational sayings. If they speak to me, then I use them. And if they've got like a credit, this one is spirituality.org. I leave that on there. So if anybody needs to know what the source was, I can tell you what the source is for these. Oh, I haven't stuck this one down yet. So we're just going to do this, and we're going to adhere this up here like this. It's going to overlap the top a little bit, and then we're going to tuck this under because that was the plan all along. We're just going to tuck that under like that. There we go. And I do have two more of these, so I can add more if I want to, or I can add one to the top of the page here, which I will do. And then I can slip the tag in like that. And that way too, on this one, you can see that there's a tag there. So that is kind of our 2 pages like that. Now here I'm going to end up hole punching through this, and that's okay. And I might end up coming really close to the edge here when I hole punch. And again, up here, I'm okay with that because the overall image will still work. I do have, excuse me, losing my voice. I do have some of these little brass butterflies, which I wanted to use on these pages. I wanted to add just that little bit of bling in on these pages, just something of interest. And I'm going to put one up here on the tag. Again, same thing over here. I'm going to put one on the tag, and then going to add one down here like this. and one over here like this. So that is our pages for today, again using the gallery blooms, and I apologize for all the back and forth and kind of the messing around, but that's sometimes what happens when you're creating. Again, I need to let this page dry so that I can fix these down properly. And what's going to happen is with this will go on here like this, and I'm just going to put adhesive along here and along here, and I'm not going to worry about this side because I will be hole punching it here. It will be fixed down here, and then this will be open as a little secret pocket. So I'll do that, and I'll show you next time what I put in the secret pocket. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.